Okay, we are at video lecture number 8. Video lecture number 8. By the way, the last video was actually lecture 7. The title indicated that it was lecture 7, but as I was speaking, I mentioned that I discussed it as lecture 6. Okay, so hopefully we can keep that straight. This is indeed lecture number 8. We are at Roman numeral 4, letter H. Okay, Roman numeral 4, letter H. Hernan Cortez. Hernan Cortez was one of these conquistadors, perhaps the most famous and well-known of the Spanish conquistadors. He is responsible for conquering and subduing the Valley of Mexico. It's the central Mexico region. Okay. Now Cortez took about 300 conquistadors with him as he moves in to take control of this region called the Valley of Mexico. Now, what makes the Valley of Mexico special in terms of American, pre-European contact America, was that the Valley of Mexico was home to an extremely powerful American Indian empire called the Aztec Empire. Okay, perhaps you've heard of the Aztec Empire, but with what's unique about the Aztec is they were extremely well-developed society. They were an extremely powerful society. In fact, just like the Spanish, the Aztec were an expanding empire. They were conquering new societies all the time and taking over and gaining control of more and more territory and gaining power over more and more people. Okay? Remember, that's what the Spanish are trying to do. Okay, so as Cortez and his 300 conquistadors meet the Aztecs of the Valley of Mexico, the Aztecs are a highly developed society as well. They have a written language called Nahuatl. Okay, you can still find scholars on Nahuatl, and Nahuatl is still something that we can read today and translate into English. Okay, but they had a very, very wealthy society. They had a very large and highly developed and very well structured capital city. They had a government. They had a very, very organized religion that required human sacrifice every day, by the way. The Aztecs were not only a very powerful people, they were very militarily strong people. They were very sophisticated people. And that's on any standard. None of the European societies were any more sophisticated, if you will, than the Aztecs. I suppose that would depend on your definition of sophistication, because they did practice human sacrifice every day. Hey, you want to see a good movie about the Aztecs and this whole situation of human sacrifice? A recent movie from a few years ago called Apocalypto, a movie produced by Mel Gibson, is about the Aztec society and the kind of the meeting of the Spanish. Okay, so if you want to check that one out, that's the Aztecs. Those folks are the Aztecs. Anyway, there are about 25 million people in the Valley of Mexico. Okay, Cortez comes with 300 conquistadors in the year 1519. 25 million versus 300. There's no way that the conquistadors can win this fight. Okay, and a fight it will be. In 1519, they came into contact with the Aztecs for the first time. They meet the Cortez and his conquistadors meet the king of the Aztecs, a guy named Montezuma. Okay, and to make a long story short, within 2 years, the Aztecs were defeated and the Spanish took over this capital city. Okay, how is this possible? Well, the only way this was possible was through virgin soil epidemics, was through the diseases that the Spanish brought with them from Europe. Okay, now that's Hernan Cortez. Letter I, Tenochtitlan. Don't worry, there's no spelling on the test, but Tenochtitlan was that capital city of the Aztecs. Okay, it's where Cortez went and defeated this big empire and took control of. Okay. Also, they were a very wealthy society, a lot of gold among the Aztecs. Okay, and this just got Cortez and his friends all excited about all this gold. They sent stories back to Europe about mountains of gold and things of this nature in the Americas, which weren't really true. There was a lot more gold in the city of Tenochtitlan than there were in most European cities, but that was only the result of an extensive bringing in of gold from throughout the entire region of the Aztec. Okay, so Tenochtitlan was this capital city. It became Mexico City. Okay, it's the same size as Mexico City today. And like I was saying, it was a very, very highly developed city. They had a very structured government. They had very elaborate buildings. They had just amazing things for cities, especially of that time. Okay, no city in Europe was bigger than Tenochtitlan. It was a major, major city. So when we think about American Indian societies, and we think about what we call sophistication, or what we might refer to as civilization, were the Europeans more civilized than these folks? Once again, that depends on how you define civilized or sophisticated. You know, the Europeans saw themselves as superior to all societies of folks that are not Europeans. One big determining factor that says that Europeans are superior to others, in their own minds that is anyway, was they were the only ones in the world with Christianity, you see. Everybody else was a heathen. Everybody else was condemned to hell for all eternity because they were not Christians. And so the Spanish, and as well as all the other Europeans, because they're no better, look at all these folks that they come into contact with in the Americas as something less than they are because they're not Christians. You know, they kind of perceive their religion as superior to all others. And that's kind of built into Christianity as well. You know, if you read some Christian doctrine and stuff, Jesus said that I'm the way, the truth, and the life, and then no man comes to the Father except through the Son. Christianity, by design, says it is the only true religion. Okay, and so as these societies are being conquered, they kind of present their religion as such. You know, these folks are heathens. They're something less than the civilized Europeans are. But if you look at what civilization is really, civilization is having a well-ordered society. Civilization is having a established and successful political system. Civilization is having a reliable economic system. Civilization is having means of sophisticated communication. Civilization means having a culture, an art form, a way of life of its own. The Aztecs certainly had that to rival any European society. Okay, so that's the conquest of the Americas by the Spanish anyway. Now, we're going to talk about some other societies, some other European societies that are going to kick in here and do some different things, okay? All right, that will conclude video number 8. Sorry, boy, I'm getting these numbers mixed up. Let me write that down. By the way, I made a mistake in the outline. Well, I didn't make a mistake, really. I just left something in that I didn't really intend to. Roman numeral 5, entitled European Rivalries, Asia. I'm totally going to skip that Roman numeral, so go ahead and cross that off of your outline, okay? So, Roman numeral 5, letters A through H, I'm not doing. I'm going to cross it off of mine. You cross it off of yours. It will not be on the test. You'll not be responsible for any of the information that might fall under Roman numeral 5, okay? So, I'll pick up with video number 9, where I will start discussing European rivalries in the Americas. Okay? Alright, see you then.